Hey, what's up, good people? It's Rob Lee. Hey, I want to go ahead and do one more segment about the flu, and then we'll go ahead and we'll move on to something else. But it's important that I want to do this so I can have it for me, no matter where my work goes, and other people can. You're free to take my work, to share it, download it. But it's important that I want to do one more segment. I want you to look at two commercials, and I want you to think about what you're looking at here. The first one is about fear, preying on the elderly and their fears. And the second one is about a pharmacy, and they're willing to pay you to come and get your flu shot now. They're going to pay you, make a donation, give you a voucher. Since when did the government, the corporations, start being so generous that they are to pay us to come and get our flu shots? Let's go ahead and watch, and then we'll make a little comment at the end of it, and we'll go further. I appreciate you guys watching, man.
If cold and flu season knocks you flat, count on Olathe Health.
This flu season, enjoy good health and good savings at Giant.
Because right now, when you get a flu shot at Giant Pharmacy, Unilever will help provide 3 meals to Feeding America, the nationwide network of 200 food banks.
And when you fight the flu this season, you'll receive a free coupon book with over $30 in savings.
So stop by today to protect your family from the flu and help those facing hunger.
Only at Giant Pharmacy.
So good people. So the Giant Pharmacy, and this is all across the country, man. This is everywhere. And I'm going to show you this in this video. I'm going to show you some of the propaganda that's going on. So Giant, along with many other pharmacies, they're going to make a donation to needy children, which is wonderful. But they're preying on that weakness in you, that hey, if I get my flu shot, I get to feed a needy child, and I'm gonna get a voucher for $30 to come back in. Man, corporations care nothing about us. They care about money, control, and death. That's what they care about. We're nothing but a number to them. And you notice the commercial with the elderly woman. You see, to prey on their fears, man. This is what we're looking at. This is the type of monster that we're dealing with vaccines. And I believe that as we go further and further, those who refuse vaccines are going to be looked at as terrorists. In fact, I'm going to show you some proof that that's where they're already going. That's what we're going to look at now, is that if you're anti-vaccination, if you feel like you have the choice to decide what goes in your body, you are going to be labeled a conspiracy theorist, a terrorist. That's what I'm going to show you right now. All right, good people, so let's look at what it means to be a terrorist in the United States when you deny the corporate entity, the Zionist devils, when you deny them the right to jab you with a poison. What this is problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem, you react, they will give you the solution. They do this 24/7. This is what they do. They've been doing it since the beginning of time. Problem, reaction, solution. You have to react to their problem. They will give you the solution. You have to get on board. They have won whenever that happens. The media, whether it be social, mainstream, left, right, center, alternative, it doesn't matter. They all work for the same monster, the same serpent. We're going to get to a few clips here, but I want you to see something. Louisiana Department of Health is offering free flu vaccines. Free. We've already looked at how Giant and other pharmacies are telling you, hey, come in, get your flu shot. We'll give you a voucher. It's free. We'll look after you. NBC Nightly News. Flu overwhelms hospitals. Free vaccine clinics open. Free, right? All right, so a week ago, I noticed that there was a movement across the internet, and I get this in my alert box, that anybody who was going against vaccinations are being labeled as conspiracy theorists, 9/11 truthers. I mean, this is where this is going. Eventually, I believe what's going to happen is that they will use this to galvanize an event that if you deny yourself or your family being vaccinated, you will be ostracized from society, maybe lose your job, your pension, your check, anything. This is where it's going. U.S. News, anti-vaxxers are often conspiracy theorists too. Health. Science shocked to learn anti-vaxxers tend to believe other conspiracies too. And all this is right around the same date because it was put out at the same time. It went all across the internet. Conspiracy theories and anti-vaccine sentiments go hand in hand. Newsweek. 9/11 truthers are more likely to be anti-vaxxers too. Medical press. Belief in conspiracy theories associated with vaccine skepticism. Really, you see where this is going. Let's take a look and listen to somebody who knows far more about it than I do, about what is in vaccines and what is really being done to our bodies when we allow them to stick us with poison. I appreciate it.
Protected, but you mentioned influenza, and there's something that a lot of people are unaware of, and I think this is a really important point to make about influenza vaccines, which is that you're talking about the effectiveness in the year that it's given. Then the following year, there could be a whole 3 or 4 new strains of influenza circulating. Well, there's plenty of medical literature and epidemiologic evidence that if you've taken an influenza vaccine on year 1, that your risk of contracting influenza on year 2 is higher. Your risk of getting a pandemic strain is higher, and your risk of shedding and spreading the virus for longer periods of time is higher as a result of what that vaccine did to your immune system the year before. That's a really important point that I think needs to really be hammered home to people, is that even if you are protected that first year that you got the vaccine, it has changed your immune system in such a way that your T cells can't respond using memory response. And so you are actually more susceptible than a person who's never been vaccinated. And that's been proven in medical literature. I speak about this publicly with the references on a regular basis.
The flu vaccine is loaded with toxins that you just do not want to put in your system. The first one, and it's in the majority of flu vaccines, is mercury. Yes, they're putting mercury in the form of thimerosal in about 25 micrograms. And if you look at the warning signs of mercury, that exceeds the toxic dose of mercury that is not recommended by the EPA and the CDC unless you're over 550 pounds. Yet it's in nearly every dose of flu vaccine. Now, there's also other things such as phenol, aluminum, ethylene glycol, which is antifreeze, and a variety of other substances that you just do not want to put in your body. So the craziness of this is actually the flu vaccine is recommended for every single person in the U.S., or nearly every single person, because in 2005, 3 years ago, the Federal Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices recommended that infants from the age of 6 months to 5 years old be given a flu vaccine every year. And earlier this year, they extended that for all children. So just about every single person in the U.S. is recommended to get an annual flu vaccine. So obviously, I do not advise you. In fact, I strongly encourage you to review the evidence, make your own decision, and I suspect if you carefully review the literature, you'll reach the same conclusion I did, which is that it is unwise for you or anyone in your family to receive the flu shot.
What those two big pushes were for in 2005, the bird flu and then swine flu again, was the $7.2 billion that George Bush gave to Novartis to develop their new flu shot factories. And then when swine flu came along, it was the rest of the money that the government gave them to build new flu shot factories. That's all it was, really, at the end of the day, when you pull back the curtain and see what's back there, was because how flu shots are manufactured are in eggs. It's a very labor-intensive, time-intensive, expensive process that they take an egg and they literally pick a little top off the shell and they inject some viruses in there, and then the virus grows in the egg for 11 days. They centrifuge off the virus and supposedly separate the virus from the egg, which doesn't all get separated, and then they get viruses that come out of the egg, and that ends up in the flu shot. And that's how flu shots are made. Very expensive, time, labor-intensive. Well, now they're going to a new type of technology called a cell line technology. And they're using dog kidney cells, they're using caterpillar egg cells, and what they do with that is there's a big vat of these cells, and they inject the viruses in there, and so then they can harvest flu vaccine every 6 to 8 weeks. With the egg process, you had one flu shot season per year because it was very time and expensive technology. Well, in order to get funding to create their new cell line technology factories, they had to create a pandemic so the government would fund it, which they did all over the world. There's a new one, it's Novartis's new flu shot factory should be coming online in about a year in North Carolina. Lots of new jobs down there to create flu shots and in the flu shot factory, and it's going to be made from dog kidney cells. So now you're going to be getting dog DNA injected in you. There's another technology that uses cells from aborted retinas, from retinas of aborted fetal tissue. That's coming online for flu shots. And they're also using something called a baclofen, which is made from insect cells. So now you'll be getting insect cell DNA injected into you. These things are filthy. And why would you ever want that into your system?
Well, Sherry Tenpenny is right. They want to corrupt your DNA. That's the whole idea of what the serpent and his children have always wanted. They want to destroy the seed of the woman. If you follow my channel, this is something that you know because we've learned it. They want to corrupt your DNA. They want to destroy you. Jesus Christ said that if time was not shortened, there would not be any flesh left when he returned. But because for the elect's sake, time will be shortened. These monsters are trying to destroy you and everything that you know. All right, people, let's look at some more propaganda all across the world. This is Ireland, the Irish Times, February the 11th. Older people at risk as flu vaccine rates fall. Older people, you see, they have to prey on the young, prey on the old. News 7, this is out of Boston, I think. Researchers, cancer vaccine eliminated tumors in mice. Human trials on the way. So you can imagine all the people who have had to suffer cancer and the people that fear cancer. They will run to take anything that the government, that the corporations tell them, hey, this will prevent cancer, sign me up. A biotech out of Oxford is developing a vaccine to fight every type of flu. This is from the South China Morning Post. Wow. And notice there's going to be a vaccine now for everything. This is from Nature. Health officials push for a vaccine against the neglected tropical virus. Here's another one. Crocodile antiviral vaccine research paves way. Crocodile antiviral vaccine. ACIP releases recommendations for use of herpes zoster vaccines. World needs, from Newsday, world needs all-out effort for truly effective flu vaccine. And out of Atlanta, at the University of Georgia in Athens, University of Georgia says it's close again. So it must be many of these monsters, of these groups, that they're close to creating a flu vaccine for all strains too. And again, we need another vaccine. West Nile fever, this is from Precision Vaccinations, because these pro-vax sites, man, they are everywhere. When I started getting the alerts in my box, I started to see that there is a massive billion-dollar propaganda campaign to corrupt the people that, hey, come get jabbed. It's going to be good. This is Precision Vaccinations. West Nile fever needs a vaccine. And there you can see, there she is, Danielle Ryder, RN. I wouldn't trust her in a shit house with a muzzle on. All right, let's move forward. Then you have the worst of all is when they target the children. Now, by the time a child is a year old, many of the children have been subjected to 8 vaccinations. 8 vaccinations. They have no choice in the matter. They have no say-so at all. None. Young girls, children, these are the most vulnerable along with the elderly. So, I want us to watch a couple clips here about something that has been, it's with the HPV vaccine. And you will notice that it says here, and this is out of Grand Peaks, you will notice that it says that what if there was an immunization that could prevent cancer? It seems too good to be true, right? But one such vaccination does exist. Let's listen to the clip, people, and then let's just go from there.
6 states, there is a movement to mandate that girls as young as 11 have the Gardasil vaccine. Gardasil is the Merck-produced vaccine designed to protect against 4 of the over 100 strains of the human papillomavirus. However, according to the lead researcher, Dr. Diane Harper of Dartmouth Medical School, quote, Giving it to 11-year-olds is a great big public health experiment. It is silly to mandate vaccination of 11 and 12-year-old girls. There's not enough evidence gathered on the side effects to know that safety is not an issue." End quote. In addition, she has stated that Gardasil was never fully tested on young girls. All of the trials were with girls 15 to 25 years old, and in her personal opinion, the vaccine should only be used with girls 18 and up.
I think that Merck deserves the Oscar for marketing. They're selling the thing as a cancer scare without telling you, number one, you still might get cancer from the other 30%. Number two, you can't be positive for the HPV that it protects against at the time you get it. Number three, that even if you do get it at the proper time, you don't know whether it's going to work for 20 years.
These monsters are so incredibly evil that they're even targeting our pets. That's right, our pets. Because now we have the dog flu. The dog flu, yes, that's right, we have the dog flu. Now, this is out of Kern County in Bakersfield, California, but this is going all over the country. All over the country. I'm just giving you just a couple looks here. Dog flu hit it for Kern County. Officials recommend vaccines. Right here. You see dog flu on the way. Okay, dog flu. Humane Society Clinic offers low-cost vaccines and microchips for your pets. Here are the people lining up. 300 pet owners lined up to get their free vaccine for their pet, for the dog flu. For the dog flu, people. It's amazing what has happened, man, and how far that this is going and how deep that it's going to end up going, because it's meant to destroy, it's meant to control, and it's meant to ostracize and shun a certain segment of society. The devil needs to bring the serpent and his children, he needs to bring to the forefront those that are against him. And there's ways to do that. For example, for people like me, it's obvious. I mean, I'm against you. I hate you. I hate your mother. I hate you. Okay, it's obvious. With other people, they have to use these kind of methods to try to bring the people that are against them out into the open. That's what this is about. That and destruction. So let's watch a couple more clips, just a couple more clips, and we'll keep this going. And I want you to look at the propaganda and how these big pharmaceutical companies who are they make billions, man, billions. Each year they give away a few 10 million in lawsuits, but they make billions, man, hand over fist, because they keep us medicated and they keep us vaccinated. That's what they do.
Call your doctor for information about prescription pills with the power to beat the flu faster, so you can feel better faster.
The flu bug is getting ready for another season. Are you? Get vaccinated.
Baseball, basketball, tennis, Jordan McFarland is an avid athlete. But a week ago, something stopped him in his tracks. Thursday afternoon, he got his flu shots. By 10 o'clock Friday morning, he had chills and started feeling weak. And by 4 that afternoon, he was having spasms.
It's flu season. And at our age, flu can be more serious. Nobody has time for that.
It would be dishonest to say that we know for sure the vaccine is going to be safe for everybody. You give a vaccine to a couple 100 million people, there are going to be problems.
Charlie was given the flu jab at 4 p.m. on Friday, the 23rd of September 2011. Hours later, he went to sleep and has been predominantly asleep ever since.
Maybe you didn't know, people with the flu can spread it up to 6 feet away.
You can tell things are deteriorating. Is there any advice you can give me?
Don't ever take a flu shot again.
But as we age, our immune system can weaken, and traditional flu shots may not work as well for us.
I love to sew and crochet. I can't do that now. I can't even read. That flu shot did me in.
By shielding yourself with a flu shot at Rite Aid, where one simple stop can protect you from this season's strains of flu.
I have more concern about the vaccine than I do about the swine flu.
It's been rushed to market. There are high levels of adjuncts which basically make it more potent.
Fluzone High Dose is a flu vaccine designed specifically for patients aged 65 and older. This vaccine helps older patients develop better immune responses.
A total of 23 deaths were reported during the day 29 through 180 post-vaccination. 16 among Fluzone High Dose recipients and 7 among Fluzone recipients. So the high dose is definitely killing twice as many seniors.
Designed for adults 65 and older. Unlike other flu shots, Fluad contains an immune-enhancing ingredient that can help provide a strong immune response to the flu.
Sure, the numbers are pretty good. At best, about 60% of people who get the shot will dodge the flu. At worst, only 10% will be protected.
I'm going to get it,
Yeah.
if that helps at all, but I'll tell you, my wife is not going to immunize our kids. Because I've got 4 of them, and when I go home, I'm not Dr. Oz, I'm Mr. Oz.
Get your flu shot at Rite Aid today.
Mercury-containing vaccines may help, not harm kids, according to 2 new studies in the journal Pediatrics. There have been widespread concerns that mercury-based preservatives in vaccines might impair the neurological development of children. These new studies suggest that the opposite, that the preservatives may actually be associated with improved behavior and mental performance.
Officials remind people it's still not too late to get vaccinated.
You reduce your chance of getting the flu by about 1/3. So that's, not 0. You reduce your chance of getting the flu by about 1/3. So
Let me ask you something in closing. How evil do these no good, wretched pieces of shit have to be? I mean, I want you to really to think about this, man. It's bad enough to hurt a man or a woman, an animal. How bad, how evil are these sadistic, no good, wretched monsters that they would hurt children? And yet they hurt children every single day in one form or another, but now they will do it, and they've been doing it for thousands of years to your children. Your children. Now they're doing it with mom and dad bringing the children. It's no different than in the Bible when the children, mom and dad would bring their children to be sacrificed to Moloch. It's the same thing. Mom and dad comes in, I'm doing a good thing, I'm getting the child a vaccination because mom and dad believe anything that they see on the Zionist-controlled TV. They believe it all. How evil are they that they would hurt children, deliberately harm a child, and then take money for doing it? Let me say it again to you. They harm men, women, animals, and even our babies, and they take money for it. Let me say it one more time. They hurt men, women, animals, and even our babies, and they take money for it. I appreciate you watching. God bless you.